welcome back to the Fenton Forest 4X map with seasons with me, See What He So. And just a reminder for everyone out there, these videos are not intended for kids or child audiences. Any parents or guardians allowing their children to view this content do so at their own discretion. I'm not responsible for any underage persons watching these videos as they are not recorded with the intention of being viewed by children. This channel is for mature gamers. There is a disclaimer at the front of the video to say that. But we've come back. This is still day 2 of autumn, but as you will see, we've actually got hay on our field. We've got some hay. The grass tedded, windrowed. It has turned into hay, apart from the bits that I already windrowed, which didn't turn into hay, or which weren't hay. So it's definitely a case when you're looking at the field that this light straw-coloured stuff is hay. This is what we want. This is what we're looking for. So kind of so hay is working. It does work. I haven't had any luck with it on Lone Oak, and I apologise for the dogs barking in the background. Somebody has just arrived at the house. We must have a visitor. So anyway, we've got all the harvesting finished. The harvesting that I could do, including the sugar cane, which I sold some of at Port Southeast as I was collecting it. Needless to say, the sugar cane harvest was not fun, was not enjoyable in the slightest, and I'm really not looking forward to doing that again next year. We might find another way of doing it. Well, a way that's a bit more in fitting and in keeping. Okay, that's one way of getting hay out of the baler, is to make sure I actually pick up some hay when the machine is empty, and force it to make hay bales. Yeah, we've got some hay bales, and I know people will be like, well, why are you worried about hay? Picking up hay? Because you do everything loose. Possibly so. It gives me something to do. Pure and simple. We've got some more grass we've got to go back and pick up. I have made some changes down at the farm, which I will show you as well when we head down there next. Next, head down to the farm. Show you these little changes that I have made. Sold on this baler. It doesn't seem to have the same wide pickup that in fact, to me, it looks like that pickup is actually far too high in the air. See about that. I'm just pleased to know that I can actually get hay, providing the temperatures are freaky hot enough. I mean, 29 degrees, 22 degrees ground temperature, and a wind speed in, 10.4 meters per second, grass will dry and will turn to hay. I just don't get those conditions on Lone Oak, do I? And that's probably the problem. That region, that map, that geo, it's probably too cold for making hay. So in my Lone Oak save, I'm probably best off using a dryer. Produce product. It's good. It's good, good. Like I say, we've still got one field of soybeans to harvest, and obviously our cotton field this year. The poplar field will not be ready until for another year. I think I've forgotten how long it takes in seasons for poplar. Is it 3 years? I think it's 3 years for poplar. So we ain't got to worry about harvesting poplar this year. I'm currently in the process as well of obviously starting to get fields prepped and turned around ready for next year. So I've got cultivator, I've had ploughs out, I've had fertilisers out, I've had herbicide sprayers out doing fields. In fact, I've currently got the Vario doing a cultivating on field 22, I think it is. Pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. Thing does pickup's not great on this. Why? It misses bits. Bits it should pick up. Compared to the previous baler I had, potentially sold on this one. I've got a feeling that this thing's a bit wrong. Looking at it, to me, that roller, first roller, should also be closer to the ground. I can't seem to make that drop it any lower like you can with like a loading wagon. I think it rides a little bit high and it misses bits, or the amount of stuff it can pick up is not as good as previously envisioned. Now it looks like I've got the Rubicon here. Means we're probably going to be doing we are definitely going to fertilise this field. I want to put some headlights on it. It's getting dark. I'm amazed as well at just how well I've done so far. Bearing in mind it's only day 2 of autumn and we've got every field pretty much harvested. Apart from, as I say, the soybeans and the cotton. Everything else is done at this point. And there's still 4 days of autumn, 4 days of harvest left. So I'm thinking about maybe seeding a couple of fields this year again. Getting some crops down. Looking at the rotation. After sunflowers I can do oats, so field 1 would be a prime candidate for having oats put on it. Depending obviously on I need to check what the fields were previously, but either field 25 or field 22 will get corn planted on it again as a double corn planting, as that's possible in our rotation. Look, in rotation plan B there, we can double plant corn, so that'll be worth a considering. Definitely be worth a considering. However, based on how much corn I've harvested this year, there's a possibility that the corn I plant for next year, or the corn I plant next year, I will just chaff. I will forage harvest it, and I will persevere and do the whole forage harvesting, because I appreciate the fact that looking at the statistics for my forage harvesting episode, I got a lot of dislikes on that video, and I wonder if it's because I bailed out after just doing one headland instead of doing the whole field. I wonder if people got a little bit annoyed because I kind of quit on it because of how long it was taking and things weren't really working properly. A bit like the sugarcane harvester. That didn't work for me at all. Could not get that to work with course plate. Could not get it to unload into a truck. A nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. And like I say, I'm not looking forward to doing it again next year. Other things are going fairly well though, around the farm. Animal situation is pretty good. We've reached massive numbers on the old chickens now. The chickens are getting to that stage now where the pen's getting quite full. Looking forward to doing, as I say, hopefully they'll start banging out the eggs with a bit more frequency. Actually, I did buy some more cows the other day as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. I bought some more cows. I've been slowly increasing, and I bought some more pigs. Slowly raising up the quantities on the pens because obviously we're going to be selling some off fairly soon, especially the pigs. Some of the pigs, once they hit a year old, we're probably going to sell them. Make us quite a lot of money. Then we'll buy in the next batch. Ramp up the numbers a bit. Again, get our slurry production going quite well. Bit of baling today, look. Nice bit of baling. And it's hay. There was me thinking it was just impossible to get hay on a game. I'm wondering it though if it has something to do. There's some other underlying it because this is a, you know, this is a field that has been planted with grass, and I wonder if wild grass, like the stuff at the top of the map, whether that's the issue. Wild grass does not turn to hay, maybe. I don't know. Because no one's giving me any definitive kind of information on the hay situation, and every time I've posted about grass drying on Giants forums in the season thread, none of the devs have ever sort of replied to me or cleared up how exactly the grass drying, hay appearing process works. It's a little bit confusing. Okay, the baler I noticed does pick up a lot better if you slow down a touch. Despite the fact that this baler is rated for, you know, 32 kilometers an hour, it doesn't seem like it wants to operate at that speed. Stop the driver. Bog that up. Park this in the shed. Carry on, get the bales done. We'll get the bales picked up. I'll then sleep through the night and advance to day 3 of autumn. And see what's occurring. I also want to apologise for the fact that on the past Monday I didn't get a Fenton Forest video uploaded to the channel. I'm sorry about that. I ran out of footage. It's been a bit of a mad scramble the last couple of days to try and get stuff recorded so I can actually get the videos uploading again 3 times a week. again, because of how long it took to do things like harvesting and that, I sat down to record with the same sort of emphasis and, you know, ideas as previously, and then I ended up spending 6 hours at the computer and didn't get anything recorded because I wasn't able to advance far enough to actually make an episode. You know, I think I mentioned this. I spent 6 hours recording one day and got like one video, which is terrible, because then it's like, well, that's it then. Now I've got to go do something else. I've got a live stream that evening on the multiplayer server. Although the other evening I did completely ignore the multiplayer server. I saw Mr. Helgi was online and he was playing, but I was like, no, I've got to focus on Fenton Forest. I've got to get stuff recorded. Got to get stuff rendered. And I'm saying that with the fact that obviously in the next couple of weeks there's going to be maybe some new content coming to the channel. Obviously we've got Transport Fever 2 coming out in a couple of weeks, which I'm looking forward to playing, and I will probably be doing some videos on that, which means I may take a break from Farming Simulator videos until maybe after Christmas. I may have them do a solid month of Transport Fever 2, with maybe the occasional Farm Sim stream, which will obviously get archived here, whether that be the multiplayer server or whether that be my Lone Oak same. But Fenton Forest will probably go on a Christmas break. I'll come back in the new year. There's also a couple of other games I've kind of been looking at just recently. There's one that's a bit Factorio-like, or Factorio-light, called Automation. I think it's Automation Empire or something like that. I've been having a look at that. But right now, apparently it's got some bugs, quite significant bugs in it for a game that's just released. Stuff to do with like the taxes system and also the electricity system, which means that as you are playing, from the minute you start playing, those costs keep increasing. So the longer you spend on a save, the more the tax sort of escalates, and it eventually gets to the point in the game where you are losing money that you can't make. You cannot make it back with your products that you are selling and exporting, because the taxes is like a whole lot. It's based on your lifetime sales, lifetime sort of expenditure, which means that obviously the longer you're on the map playing, the longer that gets. And like the electricity costs as well, apparently is really quite high. So once you start putting down a lot of buildings and a lot of factories and stuff like that, things start just absolutely snowballing, and it becomes a case then that you can't make money fast enough to keep advancing. And I've seen people literally just spend hours sitting, staring at the screen, waiting for money to accumulate very slowly. You literally, you know, they put the game on, press play, and then they go, you know, they go for a walk. You know, they go out, walk the dog, come back a couple of hours later. You know? And that, to me, doesn't sound like it's a fun thing. Could be wrong. But, we'll leave the baler up here as well. I appreciate now it's dark. So what I'm going to do, leave that there. Probably take this guy back to the farm. Going to quickly sleep at the house to make it daylight, because you guys cannot see anything right now in the video. This field will need to be ploughed. We need to get this field ploughed tomorrow. It has been fertilised. The rogator is parked just down here, so what I'll do is I'll plough it, I'll then get it fertilised again, and then I'll get it cultivated. One of the things I have kind of done is lose a bit of track, because obviously I'm trying to get fields re-prepped, ready for seeding next year. I'm not sure if I'm doing everything in the correct sequence. Correct sequence of events. Like, for example, I have got Mr. Cultivator Man down here on field 22. However, I'm not entirely convinced that I've resprayed that. In fact, I haven't resprayed it. I can't have sprayed it again with fertiliser. Otherwise it would be that colour. So I've messed up there. I should have sprayed that again. Those fields won't be fertilised because I cultivate them because they didn't need ploughing. Yeah, I've goofed. I've done goofed. That field should have been fertilised before it was cultivated. So I need to do that next time. Make sure I don't make the same mistake on field 1. Right, we're going to go into the house. Going to sleep. Hours. Which will get me to 7 AM. I then need to go quickly pick up all them bales. Rock. No more space to place new pallets at sheep. Right, we'll go get rid of that. We'll sort that issue out as well, quickly. Whilst we're here. I don't know about eggs. Or they'll tell me when they've run out of eggs. There has been some updates to these mods in the last couple of days. The chicken one got updated, but unfortunately the guy still hasn't added a way for people to put pallets of eggs into storage, which would have been very, very useful for me. Still only wants to persist with doing the silly little boxes. It's a bit shameful. I would like to have had some heck of a trailer load. I did take a trailer load of wool to sell the other day, but I picked the wrong day to sell because I picked yeah, I sold it like the first day of autumn. Full trailer load of pallets of wool. Bad choice, bad decision, because that was like no money in that. No money at all. Get daylight soon. Oh, I got weeds appearing on my freshly mowed freshly mowed grass field. If that's the case, I will come down and I will herbicide spray before fertilise. Yeah, there's definitely weeds, so I need to get that taken care of. Very difficult to see him. Another one there, hiding in the shadows. What I'll do, I'll just leave that there for a second. Right, we'll head down here. One of these has got herbicide in it. That one. We might go put a bit more herbicide in it yet. Go spray the grass, kill the weeds. Fertiliser building should be might start this guy off on he's not gonna get a full complement. He's only going to get like 2 runs, so I was going to set him off on digestate again, but he's only going to get 2 journeys. And I broke 1 million again, which is not bad since I only had like 860,000 last night. Did I get biogas payout then? Yeah, 176,000. That's not bad. Oh, well, yeah, it is bad, really. When you think silage is usually a big money maker in the game. Yes, we're weeds. I'm sure we have bits of weeds, look. They've got to be exterminated. Get the grass fertilised, and then obviously, well, we won't get another mowing this year, and the grass will then get reset in the winter. It'll die off again in the winter. Fertiliser state should be preserved. I'll be able to fertilise it again early spring. Good. Got all the bales collected anyway. haven't completed your... See, this is the problem I've been having as well. You can clearly see that the field, or you should be able to see that the field is definitely changing colour, which says that the herbicide spray is being applied. However, if I try hiring a worker, the worker thinks the field doesn't need spraying. Even though there's weeds on the field, which tell you that the field does need spraying. Great. Okay. There's a little bit of an issue somewhere. The normal AI worker won't spray fields at the minute. He'll do it with course play. Course play will drive the course regardless of whether you're spraying or not. Check on the old check on the state of our other fields in a minute. Those two problematic fields, because admittedly we do not have a cotton harvester yet. That could be a lease job, much like the sugarcane harvester. Bale truck. Good thing is, I did pick up all the bales, so pleased with that. We'll go get the hay put into storage in a minute. The Rubicon then. So, suppose technically speaking, I can get Mr. Rogator to do the necessary on field 1 before we go grab a plough and commence to ploughing that field up, ready for next year. I could make a start on seeding some fields, because like field 1 would be prime candidate for reseeding at the minute. I could get oat on there or whatever. Probably could have done with Mr. Rubicon being down at the field 22. Done with that spraying. Of course, if I spray it now, it's not going to. When I seed it, it's not going to register. So, does mean that field 22 is going to need to be sprayed whilst when the crop is growing in its first growth stage. In there, switching machines for a second. Oh, I could do this with the Rubicon. However, the Rubicon has a habit of hitting the trees. Come on, unfold. I need to plough this field. Oh, I'm getting so confused in my head now. This field's sprayed, you muppet. That's why the Rogator is there. Jeez, he's done it. plough. Gotta plough the field first. Oh boy. I need some help. Piling up nicely. Got plenty of chickens at the minute. Right, the changes, of course, at the farm that you haven't seen yet. I sold off the barn bale sell point. Stevie's bale sell point. Sold it off because, well, we don't sell bales, do we? It's the simple answer. With seasons, bales aren't really that profitable. And instead I replaced it with this fancy contraption which does the allows me to store my combine headers. Now looking at it, I probably would have been better off placing it the opposite vertically, and then I could have backed it with another one, so I could have put these headers on one of the units as well, because it only holds 4 headers, unfortunately. The kind of downside to it. Although obviously next year I will probably have 4, especially when it comes to the corn. Like, give the cows something to give them their drink. Same with the pigs. I can't remember. Yeah, that has straps. I can't remember. Is this the machine I used? Or if that's the machine... That can't be the machine I used for taking my harvester. I think it was. No, I think I used a different machine. But that has straps. In. I'm thinking maybe sell that trailer. Use the other one for selling eggs and stuff. When the time comes for selling eggs. Plenty of dealt with the hay. Pigs are alright at the minute. I need a little bit of food by the end of the day. They're going to soon need some corn and potatoes and that sort of stuff. Chickens shouldn't be too bad because I think I fed them last night. Right, so let's see. Field 1 has to be ploughed. We also need to fertilise field 8. Front O is still cultivating. Locally. And we are now ready to harvest up here. Okay, right. plough. Not too far away. The good thing is, at least you know what's going to be occurring in the next episode of the series. We're going to be doing a cotton harvest and a soybean harvest. We need some fuel. Is that the same for the other class 5000 as well? Zerion. Don't need any def, we just need fuel. Also don't know how I'm doing on fuel production. Because I haven't been over to that machine in a while. Plowing away. So get our trailer. Empty the bales into the bale shed. Then we'll Rubicon our way to good fortune. So what I might do for the future as well, I might actually grab myself a second baler for the sole purpose of just doing, so I don't have that issue where a baler's got partly grass in it and stuff like that. A baler for doing hay. Now I know I can make hay bales. Seed tender. Oh, steady. Lost a bale. Go grab that bale that we dropped. Got some silage ones in there. We do need some straw, but it's too late for that this year. The soybeans isn't going to give us any straw. Unfortunately. Up in the shed. Yeah, if you haven't seen these stacks before, you can spawn your pallets out of them, but it spawns them in the same quantity that you put in. So whatever bale you put in, which is 9,943, there's obviously a little bit of shrinkage overnight. Hay bales have got 10,000 litres. And the silage ones are a little bit different, because when you click on those, it tells you how much fermenting they have to do and how long is remaining. That's pretty cool. So we're going to be harvesting next episode, so I might as well just do me Rubiconing. Finish off today's episode. We'll be back in the next episode doing cotton harvest, in which I'm probably going to use my modified one of the modified John Deeres, I think. Okay, that's not working. I guess because we've herbicided, we can't put fertiliser on until the grass grows, so only have to wait a day or two to do the I'll just leave it parked up here again. I know I have to fertilise field 24. I also need to weed field 24, don't I? No. That's something we can look at doing. So is we'll take this plough back and put somewhere into. I suppose instead of spraying the field, I could dry fertilise it, couldn't I? The sugar cane, and then come down with the herbicide spray and kill off the weeds. One of the things I haven't done crop prices don't look like we have anything to sell today. Auger wagon's still down here from doing the, as I say, doing the sugarcane harvest. And I say, most of the crop most of the sugarcane I took to the port southeast to sell, because it was the nearest place, rather than driving all the way back to the farm every time, because it's a long way away. Although I do believe I did put some in. I've put 620,000 litres of sugarcane into the silo if we do need to sell it, because for some reason sugarcane seems to be you know, it doesn't really have any low points. It seems to be pretty consistent price all year round. There's no necessarily good time or bad time to sell that. Just pick the highest place on the day. Which for me yesterday was Port South East, which was handy because it was also the closest. Drive up there, out the little dirt road, across the bridge and into the port and back. Another thing I am thinking of doing, little fillable fertiliser tank thing down here. Not fertiliser, fuel tank should I say. Thinking of maybe replacing that with another Stevie global company type dealie. I think the Stevie one holds more. And believe me, when you're using the Tri-Six to do the jobs down here on like field 23 and that, you need a lot of fuel because that thing runs out fairly frequently. See? I'm going to turn off ploughing for a second because we don't need to see if we have ploughed. Because we're obviously not going to be ploughing sugarcane. That does regrow. But anyway, I'll whiz round, get this field fertilised, and then when you come back in the next video, we'll be moving on to the cotton harvest and the soybean harvest, which will be the last of this year's harvest. And we can start then looking at what crops we'll be planting next year and whether we're going to leave any fields fallow or anything like that. So I've been See What He So. Thank you for watching today's episode. If you've enjoyed the video, please go ahead and click that like button for me. It's a fantastic help. Also, if you're not already doing so, please consider subscribing to the channel. Again, that's another thing that helps me out greatly here on YouTube. And feel free to leave your questions, comments, suggestions or feedback in the comment section down below. I do look forward to reading comments, even the trolly ones and the ones where people are mean to me, you know. So I'm going to get this field fertilised. I'll be back again with some more content very soon. Goodbye for now.